one of our first lessons in the class was to work on a bouncing ball. And so we're going to recreate that here just so you can see how it sort of goes. And so a couple of things I want to think about are layers and naming conventions. So first off, I'm going to rename my layer. Call this one Bouncing Ball Guide. And I'm going to draw a guide for myself. I want to see how my ball is going to bounce. So I'm going to start off, and maybe I want my ball to bounce something like that. Now, I want to not draw on this layer anymore, so I'm going to lock it, but I want to extend it so I can actually see this for a certain amount, for a longer period of time. Say my animation is going to be, maybe it's going to be, 48 seconds long, 48 frames long, which would be 2 seconds since we're animating at 24 frames per second. To easily extend this out, I can press F5, and that is going to take the exposure at the beginning of the frame and extend it out. So now it's set out to all the way to 48. And I want to set my playhead, this little button here, to stop at 48 frames. So that way, when I play it back, it's going to go only to that point. This is our play button, and this is our loop button so that it cycles through. So that's the path I'm going to use for my bouncing ball. I'm then going to lock it, and I'm going to create a new layer by going to this plus sign and say drawing. And I'm going to call this one Bouncing Ball and add and close. It's created a new blank layer right here. Now, if I want a color background, I'm going to add that in now also, and I can press on this plus button and go to color card, and it has created a blank layer that has a specific color on it. And notice that it's not filling anything below, it just is a specific color. To change that color, I can double click on this little sun down here, click inside here, and I'm going to make this like a bluish color. And you've got your settings for hue, saturation, and value, and we'll just keep it like that. Connects that there. Once you click off of the guide, off of the color card, you'll see those squares go away. So this is my area, and what I'm going to do is just start thinking about like where I want my bouncing ball to start and finish. So I'm on my bouncing ball layer. You can see I'm here, frame 1. And I'm going to increase my size of my pencil. And I'm just going to start out right over here. And you'll see it has made a frame right there. I know maybe down here, maybe at like 1 second in, I want it to reach this point. And you'll see it'll create a drawing right at this point. And then maybe right over here, it'll be bouncing out. And then eventually right here, it will leave the screen. And I may need to adjust these as I go. So I'm going to have this go here. And then afterwards, I need just a blank frame. So I'm just going to create new frame, which is either here, or Alt-Shift-R. Alt-Shift-R. When you're inside here, we'll create just a blank one. I'm going to extend this out. There we go. So now if we play this back, we'll see it go through. For some reason this one didn't stick. Let's draw this again. There we go. So now play it back. Let's just look at our timing. All right. So I've got some key poses. And this allows me to sort of see how my animation is going to flow. And say I want this one to be a little bit closer to where it starts. I can move this back. And I just clicked and dragged. And maybe I want it to start at frame 18 instead. So now if I play it back, and that looks a little bit better.